Hello, good morning friends. Welcome to this new class, new chapter, and we are going back to geography again. We'll take for the next coming few days from geography. So today we shall take geography lesson number 3, the drainage. I'm sure you have heard about drainage. You know what is meaning of drain. You can see in and around our houses there are a lot of drains are there. Along the road there is drain for the water to flow. That is meaning. Drain means the place or the canal, small canal that is meant for the water to flow. So when we talk about the drainage in our country, in India, we mean the place where the water is flowing. Can you say where the water is flowing? Yes, it is the rivers. So we are talking about the rivers, or we are going to talk about the major rivers of our country. That's the meaning of drainage. Lesson 3 deals with drainage. So which are the rivers in our country and in which direction they are flowing, which are its tributaries, all these we shall study. And before that we shall learn about a little bit what's the meaning of drainage and so on. So you can take your lesson number 3, geography, page number 17. So the term drainage describes the river system of an area. Look at the physical map. You will notice that small streams flowing from different directions come together to form a main river, which ultimately drains into a large water body such as a lake or a sea or an ocean. So if you look at the map of India, you will find there are so many small streams. You can see here the map of India. All these lines are small rivers, and at the end where is it reaching? It is reaching to the sea. Both sides of India there are a lot of seas are there. So many small streams or small rivers join together and become a big river, and at the end they drain into the ocean or into the sea or into the lake. So that is a system of river. The area drained by a single river system is called a drainage basin. You can underline what is the meaning of drainage basin. So the area drained by a single river system. So the river, the main river and its tributaries, all of that small rivers, that is called a single river system. That is drained in that whole area. Then that is called drainage basin. So in one drainage basin there will be only one main river, and all the rest will be the tributaries reaching and joining to the main river. A closer observation on a map will indicate that any elevated area such as mountain or an upland separate two drainage basins, such as an upland is known as a water divide. You can underline that also. What is water divide? So any elevated area, elevated means high area or lifted up area, like a mountain. The top of the mountain is high, it is an elevated area, and some of the land also is elevated. May not be very big hill but small hill, but it will be elevated and both sides will be going down. So some are very high mountains, some are very low mountains. So that elevated area, the top part is called water divide. So in the case of a mountain, we can know the mountain is flowing this way, the mountain is rising up this way, and the waters, all the waters falling here, the rainwater, it will be flowing down this way. This water cannot flow this side, isn't it? Because this is higher, and the water flows that side. This side will be flowing down this way. So this part is called water divide. It's an elevated area and it is separating the water from flowing this side. So whatever is falling here, it will flow down here, and whatever is falling here, it will flow this side. So this top part or the elevated part or the high part, that is called mountain divide. I hope you understood what is mountain divide. So you can see in your picture also, there is elevated area is there, high area is there. So from here water will flow down this side, and from here it will flow down here, and it will reach the valley, and it will reach the valley. There may be a river, water will be flowing down. So that higher part is called mountain divide. If you look at the mountain, you can see mountain is high, going up and down. So from both sides of the high, water will flow down this way, and that higher part or the elevated part is called water divide. Now let us see about drainage systems in India. So that is just introduction. We learned two terms. One is drainage basin, that is the river that is draining the entire area is called drainage basin, and the elevated area that is dividing the water or that is directing the water to flow in which direction, that is called water divide. Now let us come to the drainage systems in India. So the drainage systems of India are mainly controlled by the broad relief features of subcontinent. So we know in subcontinent, that is in the Indian continent, there is a lot of relief features are there. We learned early about the physical features of India. We said there are plains are there, highlands are there, mountains are there. So there is a lot of features, physical features are there. So accordingly the river also is formed, or the drainage systems are also formed. Accordingly, the Indian rivers are divided into two major groups. One is the Himalayan rivers, another one is the peninsular rivers. So according to the physical features of our country, the rivers are flowing, and therefore we can divide them into how many? We can divide them into two. One is Himalayan, then second one is peninsular. So peninsular means the bottom part of India or the southern part of India. So the rivers that are there in the bottom part or the southern part of India, they are called peninsular rivers. They are flowing towards south. Then the Himalayan rivers means they are starting from Himalaya, originating from Himalaya and flowing towards north and northwest. So let us see which are the rivers in these regions. So apart from originating from the two major physiographic regions of India, the Himalayan and the peninsular rivers are different from each other in many ways. And so the main difference between these two groups of rivers, Himalayan rivers and the peninsular river, what is the difference? That is, they are originating from two major physiographic regions of India. So the Himalayan rivers, from the name itself we can understand, the Himalayan rivers will be originating from Himalaya. Then peninsular river will be originating from Peninsular Plateau. So apart from this main difference, there are also some other differences. Most of the Himalayan rivers are perennial. You can underline. What is one speciality of Himalayan rivers? They are perennial. What is the meaning perennial? Perennial means ever, forever. That means always there is water. Throughout the year there is water. They are always having perennial waters, always continuous flowing of water. How do they get continuous flow of water? In the Himalaya there is plenty of ice is there, snow is there. So during the rainy season that rainwater will be there. Then once rain is over, the winter comes and there is a lot of snow is formed on mountain top. And then when the sun comes, that snow will start melting and that water will be flowing. So throughout the year there is water. That is called perennial rivers. So most of the Himalayan rivers are perennial. It means that they have water throughout the year. These rivers receive water from the rain as well as from the melted snow from the lofty mountains. So the two major Himalayan rivers, the Indus and the Brahmaputra, originate from the north of the mountain ranges. So as I said, they have two sources of water, rainwater as well as from the melting of the snow. So throughout the year there will be water, therefore other name, or we can say Himalayan rivers are perennial rivers. Then the two major rivers originating from Himalaya are Indus and Brahmaputra. The river Indus and Brahmaputra. So these are the two major Himalayan rivers, Indus and Brahmaputra. And they originate from this Himalaya, and what happens to them? They are originating from northern mountain ranges, the northern side of the mountain ranges. When we are studying about Himalaya, we study where is north, where is west, and so on. So towards the Kashmir side, they start from the northern side, from the top side. They have cut through the mountains, making gorges. So as these two rivers are flowing, they are cutting through the mountains. That means flowing continuously. They are cutting. They are making deep ditches, or they make gorges. Gorges means deep holes. They are making big holes by flowing continuously. Throughout the year they are flowing. Therefore, as the water is flowing, it is carrying away the mud, and there are big holes, gorges are there. And they have, the Himalayan rivers have long courses from their sources to the sea. So another important thing about these Himalayan Himalayan rivers, they have got long courses. That means they are originating from the northern Himalaya and they are flowing and entering into the sea. So they flow for a long time through India. And they perform intensive erosional activity in their upper courses and carry huge loads of silt and sand. So they flow such a long distance. Therefore, from the top side is very steep. The northern part of Mount Himalaya is very steep. Therefore, when the water is flowing from the top, it is very steep and the water will be flowing very fast. And when it reaches northern plain, it becomes slow because there is no much slope. It is not very steep. It becomes plain. Therefore, the speed of the water is reduced in the northern plains. But in the beginning, it is flowing very fast because of the mountain slope. And as it is flowing very fast, it is carrying a lot of sand and silt. So along with the water, a lot of sand and silt will be coming, and then they will be deposited in the northern plain. That's why we learned earlier, the northern plains is very fertile land because of all this new soil or new fertile soil that is brought, especially the alluvium soil that is brought down by this river, this Himalayan rivers. So that way the plain becomes very fertile land. And the rivers from Mendes, Oxbow lakes and many other depositional features in their flood plains. They also have well-shaped deltas. So there are other rivers are there that are bringing down. Main two rivers are Himalaya and the Indus and Brahmaputra, starting from Himalayas. And there are also other features are there, like the middle and the lower courses. Many other depositional features are there in their flood plains, and they also have well-shaped deltas. So we said in the beginning they flow very fast, so they will be bringing down a lot of soil, and at the end they will be depositing. So from the beginning, between the beginning part and the end part, there is also different features are there. In some places it is plain, some places it is flow, and so there are different features are formed as in the course of river. We shall see about this. So you can see in your picture a river is flowing, and the top part is called, the beginning of the part of the river is called upper course, then the middle course, and on the lake that is called Oxbow Lake. So it is also forming a lake. Some places the river is flowing or forming into a lake. So all these different features are formed as the river is flowing. So we shall see about. A large number of peninsular rivers are seasonal. So we said about Himalayan rivers, they are perennial. Opposite of that is seasonal. Perennial rivers, these rivers are seasonal. So they are seasonal because there is no water throughout the year. Only when it is raining there will be water. So therefore it is seasonal. Because their flow is dependent on rainfall. So the only source they get water is from where? From rain. During the dry season, even the large rivers have reduced flow of water in their channels. So even the big rivers that are flowing in the peninsular region, when there is no rain, when the dry season comes, the flow of water is very less. The river is reduced to small channels. The peninsular river have shorter and shallower courses as compared to their Himalayan counterparts. So another difference between the Himalayan rivers and the peninsular rivers is they are short. We said Himalayan rivers are very long, they are flowing for a long distance. But the peninsular rivers are short, they are not flowing for long distances. However, some of them originate in the central highlands and flow towards the west. Can you identify two such large rivers? Most of the rivers of peninsular India originate in the western Ghats and flow towards the Bay of Bengal. So you can see in your map or in your atlas, you can see some of the big rivers that are flowing into the Bay of Bengal. Can you identify? There is one, Mahanadi is there, flowing into the Bay of Bengal. Any other? Can you find out? There is other rivers like Ganga is there, flowing down to this, and slowly it will reach to the Bay of Bengal. There is also another river called Kaveri. So looking in your picture, you can find out the Krishna is there, the Kaveri is there. All these are flowing down. So Ganga is not flowing here; it is going into Bangladesh and then going into the Bay of Bengal. So you can look at this map and see the names of the rivers are written there. Which river is flowing into Bay of Bengal, which one is flowing into Arabian Sea, and so you can see. So I hope you understood the difference between these two types of rivers. One is Himalayan rivers, another one is peninsular rivers. Himalayan rivers are very long, they have a long distance of flow, but the peninsular rivers are shorter. Then Himalayan rivers are perennial, throughout the year they have water. During the summer season they get the rainfall water, and in the winter season they get a melting of the snow water. So throughout the year water will be there in the Himalayan rivers, especially Indus and Brahmaputra. But the perennial rivers are seasonal, they get water only from the rainfall. So there is no mountain covered with snow so as to get snow water, but they get only the rain water. So you saw already the course of the river that is flowing. So how they appear. As it is flowing, it is creating different features as well. Now let us see here. There are 4 shapes are given there. There are 4 types of drainage systems that are formed by these rivers or the physical features of our country. So we can see the drainage patterns. Let's see what are these patterns and how they are formed, what is their shape and so on. So the streams within a drainage basin form certain patterns. So we said, what is a drainage system? A drainage system that is formed by, or the flow water formed by a single river, drained by a single river, that is called drainage pattern. So let us see what are the things that are formed in this between the flow of water, between the flow of the river. So in the drainage basin, let us see. So the streams within the drainage basin form certain patterns depending on the slope of land, underlying rock structure, as well as the climate conditions of the area. So how do these drainage patterns are formed? Different patterns are formed depending on three criterions or three factors. What are they? First one is the slope of the land. How slope it is. Is it is very less slope or very steep slope? So depending on the slope of the area. Then underlying rock structure. So what is the structure of the land under the river? River is flowing through, is it only soil or is it underneath rock and so on. So depending on the underlying structure, whether under the river it is rock or not, or it is simple ordinary soil or not. Then another one is the climatic conditions. What type of climate do they have? Is it a very dry climate or is it a rainy climate? Are they getting more rain and so on. So these are the three factors that will form different type of drainage patterns. What are they? Let's say once again. First one is the slope, depending on the slope, how slope it is. And second one is the underlying structure, whether it is a rock or soil and so on. Then third one is, what is the third one? The climatic conditions of the area. So depending on these three, there will be different types of structure is formed or pattern is formed. Let us see about them. So these are dendritic, trellis, rectangular and radial. So we can say there are four types of structures or patterns are formed. What are they? First one is called dendritic, trellis, rectangular and radial. So these are the four types of patterns that are formed. So you can see in your picture also, what are they? You can see that four types of patterns. Picture also is provided. So first one is dendritic. What is dendritic? So the dendritic pattern develops where the river channel flows the slope of the terrain. So in the picture you can see the hills are coming down. Here the water divide is there. So water starts flowing. Then here also another hill comes down. So here is a water divide, and from here also water is flowing down. So water is flowing down from towards the slope, from top to bottom, from top to down water is flowing. That is dendritic pattern. So this will be, then the water will be flowing through the river, through the valley. So that will be called dendritic. You can see in the picture, all the sides are high and the middle part is low. So water is flowing through the sides. That is called dendritic pattern. Then we can see second one. So the dendritic pattern develops where the river channels flows the slope of the terrain. So according to the slope of the terrain, according to the slope of the area, the water starts flowing. Then the stream with its tributaries resembles the branches of a tree, thus the name dendritic. So when you look at, we can see it looks like a branch of a tree. So the main one will be drawing here. So from the different hills, so many small ones will be coming up. You can see in your picture. So if you look at that main river and the streams, it looks like a tree. So dendritic means like a shape of a tree. That's the name is given to dendritic, because it looks like a tree. Then a river joined by its tributaries at approximately right angles develops a trellis pattern. So you can see in the second one the trellis pattern. The trellis pattern. So it is a river is joined by its tributaries on the right angle. Then it is called trellis. So the main river is flowing this way. Then the tributaries come from here and join. So that is called right angle, and then it is called trellis. So other one is like a tree. So many tributaries coming. So this one, whatever tributary is coming, it is coming and joining direct. It is forming an angle. So a main river and many small streams come and join to it in the angles, right angle. That is called trellis. And a trellis drainage pattern develops where hard and soft rocks exist parallel to each other. So what is the reason for the formation of this trellis, this shape? Because underneath there is hard rock or soft rock. So where the river is flowing through a rocky region, this kind of pattern will be formed. Trellis pattern will be formed where there is a rocky area. But in the first one, the dendritic, that will be on the hilltop where there is a slope area, dendrites will be formed, and where the river is flowing through a rocky area, then this trellis will be formed. Then a rectangular drainage pattern develops on a strongly joined rocky terrain. The radial pattern develops when streams flow in different directions from a central peak or dome-like structure. So another one is radial. Radial you can see in the picture. So the top part is high and the water is flowing to all the directions. So that will be called a radial. So it will be a round hill, and the top part, from there the water starts flowing down in different directions. That is called radial. Then what was rectangular? So a rectangular drainage pattern develops on a strongly joined rocky terrain. So just like the trellis region, this rectangular drainage also is developing when the river is flowing through a rocky region. We can see it is somewhat same. So here it is somewhat right angle shape, but here it is rectangular. That is only difference. So both these trellis and the rectangular pattern is formed when the river is flowing through rocky regions. Then radial is understood. In the picture itself we can be very clear that if the top part of the hill is high, and then it is a round hill and the water is flowing in all the directions, therefore it is called, what is it called? Radial drainage. So these are the different forms of pattern that is formed as the river is flowing through. There are different types of patterns are formed. So it is not the beginning part of the river, maybe it can be in the middle of the river, or it can be in the side, and from there these streams come and join to the main river, and so on. So a combination of several patterns may be found in the same drainage basin. So if you go to observe the same drainage basin, you will find the combination of all these drainage systems, all these drainage patterns you may find. So one doesn't mean one river will be flowing always through the same type of physical feature. Some places there will be rock, some places there will be hard rock, sometimes nearby there may be a round hill may be there, sometimes it will be flowing between the hills, so from both sides the streams will be coming down and forming the angle and so on. So if you observe from the beginning of a river till the end, when it is reaching the sea, if you observe all that, then you will realize all these different patterns are there in the course of a river. So it is not always same pattern is found in the same river, but in the same system on the same river we will find different types of patterns there. I hope you are following it. So we shall wind it up for today, and we'll begin in the next class about specifically about the Himalayan rivers. What are the important Himalayan rivers, and in which direction they are flowing, how strong are they, how big are they, and so on. Let us learn in the next class. So for today we shall wind it up, and we'll meet you in the next day. Thank you. Bye.